Mic check 1 2.
Mic check 1 2. This is Andi Jo Taylor, and we're kicking it on Big Yogi'z Garage.
Andi Jo, thank you so much for coming on Big Yogi'z Garage. I appreciate you so much.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad that we could find time. With how busy both of our schedules are, I've been seeing all the great stuff that you're doing as well, and with my filming of the movie and performing all summer, I'm glad we finally got time to sit down and do this.
Yeah, this is awesome. And like your life, I always ask people like your life is a movie, but no, you're making movies. So tell me a little bit about what it's like to make movies and stuff like that.
So I originally started, just singing. I never really thought of acting, but I met with my agent now, Starbound Talent from here in Toledo. And my agent, Wendy, she was like, hey, I know you sing and that's great, but have you ever thought of acting? I was like, no, I did theater in high school. I was in the plays and the musicals, but I never thought of acting as a career path for me. But as I dug more deep into it, I realized that I could parlay my singing into my acting or my acting into my singing. I could book a role where I'm a musician, which I actually just booked a role where I'm playing a musician in a movie, and vice versa. So, and I think that singing is a lot of acting as well. You really have to feel the emotion of a song and, use your facial expressions, movements on stage. So, yeah, and then I started training with Starbound. I did classes with them, and then they took me out to one of the biggest talent competitions in the world, IMTA Association competition. It's where talent from all over the world, there were 7,000 contestants competing when I went. And we compete in front of managers, talent scouts, agents, record producers, and we kind of show them what we got. And in that competition, I won first place in the singing competition, most sought after female junior actor, most sought after female talent, and many more awards after that. And after that, I just started going in grind mode, and I did audition after audition after audition, and I booked my first short film, and I'll never forget how excited me and my parents were when I first booked it. Little did we know what more was to come, because right after that, I booked 2 more short films, and now I just wrapped my first full-length feature film, The Lifeguards. You might have seen that on my social media. Filmed right here in Toledo. Super cool. Big shout out to the Antonini family. And then I have 4 more movies coming up as well.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations with all that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
All right, let's check this mic check, and then we'll go from there. Let's go. Let's go! What's up, guys? Welcome back to Big Yogi'z Garage. Today we got Toledo's own country star, Andi Jo Taylor.
I'm going out tonight in the dress that you like. Boy, I'm so gone, you really done it. I'm gonna make you sorry you lost this.
What's up, man?
What's up? Thank you so much for joining me on Big Yogi'z Garage. I've been wanting to have you on for a long time, but with our schedules and stuff.
Yeah. Glad we finally found time to sit down and do this.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about your summer, all this stuff. Like, I've seen you on TV, and I've seen you live. I've seen you all over the festivals. Tell me a little bit about your experience this summer.
Yeah, so with country music, festival season is really a big part of it, and it's always kind of the heaviest time for touring and performing is around festival season, and mine was out of this world insane. I started booking festivals around January, and I did a total of 10 festivals, I think, this summer, just going around and performing. And in addition to that, I was also filming my first short film, and then I started filming my first full-length feature film, and I also put out my first record.
Oh my God.
Pretty crazy summer, but it was a lot of fun. I was having fun while doing it all.
Yeah, I seen you live. The first time I ever seen you live was at Bella's birthday party. It was like a birthday dinner, and you were live there. And I was like, wow, she's amazing. But we already knew, my wife already knew you. I've already heard everyone talking about you.
It's crazy how this kind of came about. So we were downtown, me and my family, for the Mud Hens home opener. And I ended up running into Sandra and Bella. She was promoting Toledo's Top Talent. And she came up to me. She was like, hey, I seen that you were, you know, interested in auditioning, but, you know, let's have you as a guest performer. Let's do that. And I said, okay, cool. Well, if you're interested tonight, I'm going to be performing at Cinco de Mayo on Airport Highway if you guys want to stop by. And she was like, oh, okay, maybe we'll take you up on that. And I saw her and Bella walk in the door, and the entire time she was just filming me. And she, afterwards, I came up to her, she was like, oh my gosh. She said, you know, there's, you know, you see videos and you see, you know, you hear my audios of me performing, but I don't think there's anything that really compares to live music and seeing the artists perform and how much heart that they really put into it. So. Yeah,
because like, and then after that, like, oh, so like Bella loves you so much. Sandra
loves
Bella.
Sandra, I love your whole family.
Thank you so much. They love you so much because they, you know what I mean. They see you, and to me, I think that you're like an inspiration for Bella because like easily Bella could look up to you. You know what I mean? Because like you're doing such great things, but not only that, just the person you are and how the way you treat Bella, the way you treat Sandra. Every time you see us, like your mom and your parents, and we all get together, and you know what I mean. It's a great moment. So to me, you're a role model for all these young girls, not just Bella, all of them.
It's great hearing that. One of the biggest things that I've found that I really enjoy in doing all this is I know how my favorite musical artists make me feel. And so when I hear somebody like Bella or like Sandra or, you know, whether it's a few little girls that see me performing or even adults that come up to me and they say, hey, like, you know, you're kind of an inspiration to me or, you know, you're my daughter's role model. It makes me feel like, oh, I'm their, you know, musical inspiration in the same way that my musical inspirations are for me. Like I'm making them feel that same way, and that I can't tell you how much joy that brings me.
Absolutely, and the most specialist thing is that you're someone here that can see, touch, hug, feel, because it's not like someone on TV. Someone on TV you just watch, but it's actually a local person showing them like it's possible to get out of the same, you know, mundane thing that everybody else is doing, you know. I think it's really positive. I think everything. So, okay, and then I seen you live at your festival at the Fiesta.
Yeah,
that was great. We were going live and sharing all over, or not, we weren't going live, but we were sharing on our stories. And you did an amazing job. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Sally and Pops, they reached out to me. We seen Pops at Toledo's Top Talent, and he was like, hey, like, you know, I just saw you perform. You know, I was really hesitant to asking you because I thought that you had just this crazy busy schedule, but is there any way that you could come and perform at Fiesta? We would love to have you. And I was like, absolutely, I'll clear anything that I have right now to come and you know, perform for you guys. And they were so generous to think of me and to ask me to perform. And it was a lot of fun. I had a really good crowd. A lot of my family was there, and I got to meet some of the fans that came out to come and see me as well, and made some new fans as well, and got to see Las Phoenix. Oh my gosh, they were incredible. Awesome.
They're like 5 sisters. Huh?
5 sisters, and they're all, I mean, I look at artists, and anytime I see somebody perform, as what can I pull from them? What inspiration can I take from them? Or what's something that they could do that I could probably pick up and use in my own performances? And those girls, their movement, their breath control, their ability to stay on pitch, have perfect vibrato, perfect pitch, all while moving around on stage or carrying an instrument is insane. Like I can't imagine the training that they go through day in and day out to
and what's crazy is 5 different girls, so it's not like, it's like a whole mechanism going on up there.
It's crazy. But the cool thing about them is that they're all sisters too. So I'm sure that it definitely probably it's a lot more fun for them because you're getting to do it with your family. I know for me, I mean, I do this with my family, my mom and dad, and there's nothing like it.
Yeah, the one girl, she said like in Spanish or something, when she was up there, she said that we didn't even mean to do this. They did it for a little bit and then it just blew up. They just blew up. So
I read that about them because afterwards I started like really doing like a deep dive into them, and it's crazy how they never meant for it to kind of take off in the way that it did, and now they are.
How did you get into music? How did you start getting into music?
I've been performing since I could remember. When I was younger, anything was a microphone or a mic stand. I would stand in front of the TV and I would make my mom watch me perform, or I'd make family come over and I'd make them sit and watch me perform. And, you know, everybody I think kind of just brushed it off as like, oh, it's just like a little kid. You know, when a little kid comes up to you and they're like, hey, watch this. And they just do like a cartwheel or something. I think my family kind of just took it as that. But as I got older, I started you know, just singing in the shower. And I'll never forget, one day my mom, she overheard me singing in the shower, and she comes beating the door down, and she's like, do that again. I was like, what? Do it again. Okay, and I do it again, and she's like, you know, do you want to take vocal lessons? Do you want to get serious about this? I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. And what 7-year-old doesn't want to hear, hey, do you want to be a singer when you grow up? You know, I think that's every little girl's dream. And so I started, yeah, I was 7. Okay. I started taking vocal lessons with Toledo jazz legend Jean Holden, and we're right across the street from where it all began. Actually, Dirty Bird. She would hold recitals for us, and that was one of the first places that I performed was downtown. Dirty Bird. That's crazy. So it's all meant to be. It's a very full circle moment for me. I walked by and I just had like this feeling of nostalgia, and I was like, wow, like staring across from there. I wish they still did live entertainment because I'd love to go and relive my memories and my performances there, but unfortunately they don't do live entertainment anymore. But
maybe one day you can talk to the owner.
Maybe one day I'll come and do a guest performance. But yeah, so I started taking vocal lessons with Jean Holden, and she's what really got me comfortable with being on stage. She taught me how to let go of all that fear that I had on the stage, and I think within 6 months after my first recital, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to get back up there. Like, let me sing another song. And I remember going up to her being like, Miss Jean, can I please sing another song? She's like, you don't have another song to sing. I was like, well, can I just get back up on the stage? So I just remember all that fear just completely going away. And there was nothing like looking out in the crowd and seeing all these familiar faces and all these people watching me perform, and seeing all these people watching me do what I love. And so then as I got older, I was in theater, choir, cheer, dance in high school, and for my freshman year choir concert, we did a Queen medley, and my mom was there at the concert. My dad couldn't make it because he had to work. He works nights at Jeep. And so my mom, she's taking videos of me performing, and my choir director, she added choreography into the medley. So in addition to doing the choral arrangement, we're, you know, doing dance moves with it. And so my mom, she takes a video of me and she sends it to my dad, and she's like, hey, like, am I crazy or is she different? My dad was like, no, she's different. She was made to be an entertainer, a star. Yes. And ever since then, they sat me down and they were like, hey, like, is this something that you really want to do for the rest of your life? Because if it is, you're made for this, you can do this. And ever since then, everything since then that we've done has led up to where I am now, and you know, just getting started. Yeah, that's so awesome. So tell me a little bit about high school. Tell me a little bit about like the work you had to put in to go to dance class, to go to recital, to go did you have to get up early? Did you tell me some stories? I would wake up at 5 a.m. every morning before school. I would go for a 2-mile run outside, and then I would go to school, do my classes, go to cheer practice right afterwards for an hour and a half. Either cheer or dance right afterwards, go to musical rehearsal afterwards. Then I would go to acting classes and then modeling classes afterwards. So I mean, it was, and then all to come home and have mounds of homework that I had to get done. So it was like a grind, but I think that grind is really what got me prepared for the grind that I'm living out today. You know, I'm still getting up super early and having to work out, having to exercise, having to fast, and either I'm up early and I'm in the studio, or I'm up early for filming, or, you know, we have a really early interview that we have to do. All of that during high school prepared me for the life that I'm living today and the life that I'm going to continue to live. Absolutely, because a lot of people might see Andi Jo, but they don't see all that hard work you put in. Because you didn't, like me, like I make videos and stuff, but you didn't make videos at that time working out in the morning at 5 in the morning, that grind that you put in, all that hard work. That's where all that, like all this, like, that's preparation for the person you are right now. Yeah, everything. You put in the work. And I think that it kind of gets lost in the glitz and glamour of just, you know, some people, I think it's just, oh, you put on your makeup, you get on stage, sing a few songs, you get down, take pictures, sign autographs, whatever. But there's a whole nother world that goes into this. You know, it's the exercising, it's the dieting, it's the early mornings. Long nights, early mornings is one of the biggest mottos that we have in our house. I mean, I would, when I was filming for my first, my third short film, I was filming up in Detroit, and we would film early Sunday mornings. Like, I would have to be on set at 7 a.m. We're in Toledo, you know, that drive up to Detroit, it's like an hour and a half, and then you have to factor in traffic. So every Saturday night after a performance, you know, I would stay kicking it with my fans, with my family. You know, we would have a few drinks, and then we wouldn't get home till sometimes 2:30, 3 in the morning, and then I'd have to be up at 5 in the morning afterwards to go start my day and start filming. And I didn't even blink an eye or question it. It was just something that I knew I had to do, and that I knew that, okay, like this is it. This is a part of the grind. You know, you get up, no complaining, grab my coffee, head up there, and call it a day. Get the job done.
Absolutely. Oh, that's awesome. Like hard work, nothing pays off more than hard work.
Absolutely.
They said that like even like the #1 draft pick, even somebody that works harder, like a Tom Brady, he was the #6, like he was like the last pick, and he worked harder. He became the best quarterback than anybody.
Yeah.
So the work is what.
One of the common sayings we have in our household, another common saying that we have is when you work hard and pray for it, don't be surprised when it happens. And we've been praying for this, working hard for it, and it's happening.
Absolutely. I see it happening. So like throughout all this journey, right?
Yeah.
Like your family, how important is your mom and your dad and your family throughout this journey?
Andi Jo wouldn't be Andi Jo without them, honestly. Like my mom, every morning she's, you know, helping me respond to emails. She's helping me film auditions. She's my reader. She likes to say that she's the best reader. I just filmed an audition last night, and it was a group of 4 girls. And so I was just auditioning for one role. And so my mom, she's helping me, and she goes, oh, I get to be this girl, and this girl. Oh my goodness, look at me. I was like, yeah, Mom, you know what? They're going to ask you to be in the movie, not me.
Yeah.
And my dad,
that's
you know,
awesome.
he's, man, I mean, I can't even begin to describe my dad. He's like meat and potatoes of this. He's, you know, calling, bookings, you know, like, hey, I just called this place, you're going to be performing here. Hey, I just talked to this guy, he knows this guy, you're going to be performing here. And on top of all that, you know, he's given me all the advice and the life lessons that I need to hear. Some of it's tough love, but I think tough love is what's going to get me to where I need to be, and I wouldn't be here without the both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Tough love. Shout out to you guys. Tough love is where it gets you where you need to be. If everything's sugar coated, it ain't gonna happen. He can't
Definitely. You can't sugarcoat anything, you know. And I see the progression, and I've seen, you know, I remember sometimes like in the heat of the moment, if I mess up a note or I like make a wrong, you know, turn or movement or whatever, if I'm like rehearsing or whatever, and they'll call me out on it, and they'll say, hey, like, no, like you can't do that. You gotta be on your P's and Q's at all time. And I remember being in the moment and hearing those things and just being like, oh, like an annoyed, you know, like, oh my gosh, like whatever, you're just nitpicking it. And now I look back to the artist that I was even just 6 months ago, and the growth and progression that I've had wouldn't be what it is today without him. Yeah,
absolutely, man. Because the little things is what counts.
Little things become big things. Yeah. Another Taylor household saying. Matter of fact, I think we're going to get a canvas and we're just going to say Taylor household sayings.
Yeah, you should. And then post them on the internet so we can get inspired by these sayings.
Give you guys some tips.
You know, I before I contacted you or your mom, I actually contacted your dad earlier in the week, and I said, hey, man, you know, told him about the interview and stuff. He said, can I give you a call? So he called me. Dude, we were supposed to talk for like 5 minutes. He raved about you for like half an hour. He told me all kinds of things about you. Like your dad is like your rock, because your dad is on your team. Like he had like so many amazing things. He told me about all the hard work you put in. He told me about everything that you sacrificed and all the little things that you sacrificed to be where you're at. You know what I mean? Tell me a little bit about that. Oh, go ahead.
Who better to, you know, be on my team than the people that know me the best, my mom and dad, you know? I wouldn't be here without them. And, you know, some people like to call it, oh, like he's just proud dad, you know, it's just Tom being a proud dad. But, you know, I think that he's also had the up close of seeing the progression that I've had. And if I wasn't made to do this, and if he knew I wasn't made to do this, we would not be sitting here right now. I would be at UT in one of my classes right now, or doing homework, or I'd be at college, you know. He knows I'm made for this. And if my dad believes in me and if my mom believes in me, then I know I believe in me. I know that I can do it.
Absolutely. And then, because once you believe in yourself, then everybody, the 3 people on your team believe in you so much, you believe in yourself, it's over with. You got to keep going. So tell me a little bit about the sacrifice, like what I was telling you about sacrifices. Tell me a little bit about the sacrifices that you have to make to get where you're at right now. Like some of the things that you miss out on that some of your friends just take for granted.
I miss out on a lot of things. My best friend, one of my best friends, she's at OSU. Go Buckeyes. My other best friend, she goes to BG, and all of my friends go to college, and you know, all spread out between Michigan and Ohio, and they're always calling me like, hey, can you come down this weekend, or hey, can you come up here this weekend? You know, we can go out, we can have a good time. I'm not afforded that. My weekends are booked with performing or filming or studio time. So I've had to sacrifice spending time with my friends, or just, you know, random Tuesday calling one of my friends up and saying, hey, like, let's go get a coffee, or let's just go to the movies, so let's chat, you know. One of my best friends, she always says, I feel like I have to give you like a 3 weeks notice for you to pencil me into your schedule before we can hang out. But it's really true, you know. I have to sacrifice those things, and I have to put that, I don't want to say on the back burner, but you know, it's definitely not at the forefront of my mind. So I've sacrificed, you know, going out with my friends on Tuesdays, or sorry, on Thursdays. Those are the college nights. Going out with my friends on Thursdays or the weekends, relationships too, and you know, just normal 19-year-old things. I'm not living a normal life, so I'm not afforded to do those normal things.
Yeah, because we were like all those little things could, like, you know, hurt you in the long run. If you really want to be a success in a certain thing, you gotta present yourself a certain way, right? It
really does have to be the only thing on your mind. And if it's not the only thing on your mind, it's not gonna work out in the way that you expect it to, or the way that you would hope to, you know? So I can't think about, okay, like, where are we going to party this weekend? Or, hey, there's this party that's coming up, like, maybe we should go. Or, you know, hey, like, I want to take you out on a date, like, let's go to the movies. I can't think about that. My mind is constantly thinking of, what's my next move, or what do I have this week? Whether it's, you know, I have to go to the studio, or I have another long filming day, or I have a long night of performing, and then maybe we have to go out afterwards to talk with some people, you know. That's constantly at the forefront of my mind. So to think about anything else, I wouldn't be sitting on this couch, like I said.
Of course, because, like, the thing is, you're creative, right? So you got to think of, like, songs and this.
Yeah, I think the creative mind, that's kind of always at the forefront.
You can't, like, be like bull crapping all the time, like sitting around, right?
Yeah, but I do think that I still get some. You can say bullshit.
Yeah, I know. It's on YouTube. We can say whatever. I was just trying to be respectful.
Oh, you're good.
Go ahead.
You're good. You talk with my dad, right? You know what I live with, right? I hear it.
I know.
I hear everything under the sun, so I'm kind of just, like, not fazed by that at this point.
Yeah.
But you know, I still find time for them, you know, when my schedule permits. And a lot of it is, you know, my best friends coming to my shows and coming out to see me, and then afterwards we'll just hang out from there. But I do think being around them, it does kind of give me, helps my creative mind as well, because maybe they tell me about something that they could be going through, and I could take that and use that as song inspiration. Or, you know, maybe they're having boy problems. I'm like, oh, that could be a really good song. My creative mind, it's constantly going, and I'm constantly thinking of, how could I turn this random sense that you just said, how can I make that into a song? Or what could I use that? Or if somebody gives me a really good piece of advice, I'll put that in my notes tab, and I'll be like, oh, that's a really good lyric. Maybe I'll come back and use that. So my creative mind is always going.
Yeah, that's awesome. You can get, like, inspiration from anything.
I pull inspiration from anything and everything. It's crazy.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me, you write all your songs and stuff?
Yeah, okay. I write all my own original music. So I started, my first instrument that I taught myself was piano. And then afterwards I taught myself guitar. And growing up, I always, I listened to pop music. I didn't really discover country until I got older, but I was a big pop girl. Like, I listened to Justin Bieber, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Harry Styles. But, you know, as I got older, I realized, and, you know, playing, my parents, they would play country music. I realized, you know, this is us, this is our life. We love God, we love our country, we look out for each other, we look out for our friends and family. This is what is me and what feels right. And as I was learning piano, I picked up guitar as well, and I started teaching myself that, and that's how I wrote my first song, was on the guitar. And it just so happened that every single song that I was writing was a country song. And I was like, if that isn't a sign that, you know, this is the outlet that I should be going towards, or this is the route that I should go, I don't know what is. And so I wrote my first song when I was 12, and really cringy, really cheesy, as I'm sure everybody else's first songs that they wrote sounded. But I've progressed as an artist, and since then I'm still writing constantly. I have my EP set in stone, and you know, the songs that we're going to use for it. But God, my producer, Brett Dennison, I go to Firefly Studios, and that's where I record all my music. He's always prepared every time I walk in for like 5 new songs that I'm going to play him. Because he's like, all right, like, what do you have for me now? Because I'm constantly writing, I'm constantly creating. So, yeah, I don't know how it came about. I think I just kind of sat one day and I started strumming some chords, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna write a song to this. And I wrote a song, and I came down and I played it for my parents. And what I did was I didn't tell them that I wrote it. So I played them the song, and they were like, oh, it's a really good song. Who sings that? I was like, Andi Jo Taylor. They were like, what?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I wrote that. And then since then, it's just been a constant grind of, oh, like I love to write. And it's become kind of like an outlet for me to, if I'm having, you know, just a stressful day or a lot on my mind, it's kind of an avenue for me to let go and let loose. And anything that I'm feeling or thinking in my head, I can just let it all out in a song. And I feel like once I write that song, okay, book's closed, put that to rest, now back on the grind. I had my moment of, you know, letting my steam out, but okay, what's next? So I think songwriting is, it's such a good outlet to have as an artist. And yeah, I'm looking forward to everybody hearing the songs that I'm putting out on my debut EP. We've been working on it like crazy, nonstop. We've also been working on the second single heavily as well, which will be coming out soon. And I'm excited for everybody to hear it. I wrote Country Back on my own as well. That happened.
You wrote that by yourself, on your own too?
I wrote that by myself.
That's like a really big hit right now, right?
Yeah, 10,000 streams across all platforms.
That's like my favorite song out of all of them.
Thank you. Is it on your playlist?
Yeah.
So you get in the car, you're like, "Hey Siri, play Country Back."
I got it on the thing because I listened to it like 3 times today. Yeah, because I was trying to get like in the mood, like get ready. I watched a bunch of your videos today because I had to get like in like preparation.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's the same thing as music. You know, before I got to do my vocal warm ups, I got to drink my tea, I got to steam. So I totally understand that. But no, Country Back came about. It's probably my most interesting songwriting story. Last summer, my family and I, we took our first trip down to Nashville. Spoiled, only child. I made my parents drive the whole way, of course. And I slept in the back seat with the dogs. And we got there, and I had booked my first writer's round at the Commodore, which is a really big deal. The Commodore has like a 6 to 8 month wait list. And this was my first time going there. We called them up, and they were like, yeah, like we happen to have a spot open. It's yours if you want it. And I booked it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. But you have to have original songs when you perform at writers' rounds. You can't do covers because of copyright. You can do covers on Broadway, but you can't do them at writers' rounds. So it's like, dang, like what are we gonna do? Like I had like 2 songs maybe that were like kind of okay that maybe I could perform. And so we get to our Airbnb. My parents are like, all right, we're gonna go take a nap. And I was like, all right, I'm just gonna stay up. I'm gonna, you know, just sit, whatever. I started strumming my guitar, and I started to think, okay, I'm in the city where I know all of my dreams are going to come true. I've dreamed about coming to the city for a few years now, and I know all the opportunities that are here for me. I just booked my first writer's round at the Commodore, which is a really big deal. There are so many people who are telling me that I can't do this. I'm here doing it. I'm living out my dreams. I always tell my parents, you know, thanks for being along on the ride, for helping me chase my dreams. And they're like, no, you're not chasing your dreams. You're living your dreams. I was like, I'm here. I'm living out my dreams. Oh, this is great. And I started to think of all the people who told me that I couldn't do this. And with 3 chords, Country Back was born. And within a matter of 15 minutes, I had the song written and performed it. I performed it for my parents in the living room of the Airbnb. And the first thing that my dad said to me was, that's a hit. And since then, it's become a hit. It's on the rise. Streams are still going crazy. It's at 10,000 right now across all platforms, but like every day, like the numbers just keep shooting up. It's insane.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It's a really good record. And I'm happy that people are loving it as much as I am, and as much as we love it. But before it was, you know, the song that you hear today, it was kind of it kind of felt like my own little secret that I had with just my parents and my best friends. And it used to just be like a really shitty voice memo of just me and my guitar that we would play in the kitchen when we were getting ready, or when we were cooking, or I would play in the bathroom when I was getting ready, or my best friends would listen to in the car. And to think of what it used to be and what it is now, I'm so happy that people love it as much as we do.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it all started like your own little secret.
Yeah, it all started as just kind of, you know, 3 chords and a guitar and a voice in Nashville. So
we're back. We had to take a little break. We let my wife in the door and stuff like that. I had to take a drink of water.
The real stars in the building.
Yeah.
Sandra's in the building.
Yeah, the real stars in the house now. So I wanted to ask you about your musical influences, like growing up or even now. Like who inspires you to like write and sing and all that?
Yeah, so I told you growing up I listened to a lot of pop music. Justin Bieber, I was a huge believer. Like I had the toothbrush, the blankets, the shirts. My birthday cakes for 4 years in a row had Justin Bieber's face on it. It was.
So you're a Bieber.
Really, I was like a believer through and through. I still am. I still dabble into a little bit of J Biebs now and then. But yeah, so Taylor Swift is another big artist that that I listened to back then and that I still listen to now. And I take a lot of inspiration from her with songwriting. I think that she has a way with words is how I'm going to put it lightly. And one of the things that she says with songwriting, she said this in an interview for the New York Times. She said, songwriting is kind of like this glittery cloud that appears in front of your face. And if you catch it at the right time, you could create magic. And so every time I sit down to like write a song, I always feel like, okay, like is the cloud here? Is the cloud not here? Am I going to write something good? But so I pull a lot of inspo from her with songwriting. Now, who I really, really, really have been loving and who I really pull a lot of inspiration from, Lainey Wilson and Ashley McBryde. Lainey Wilson is one of my favorite country artists right now. I love everything about her, and one of the biggest things that I love about her is she's very big on remember where you come from, and what you see is what you get. She's from a really small town with like 2,000 people, and she's got this really thick country accent, and she is who she is at all times. She doesn't change for anybody else. She doesn't conform for anybody else. What you see is what you get with Lainey Wilson. And I'm like, oh, I love that about her. Okay, I want to be just like her and be like, you know, what you see is what you get. I'm still, it doesn't matter what stage I'm performing on, whether it's big or small, I'm still the same girl from Toledo, Holland, Ohio, and I'm always going to be that same girl. Ashley McBryde, me and my dad and my best friend Madeline, we seen her at the Rossford City Music Festival. And we had heard a few songs from hers, but when we seen her live, I mean, it's like I told you, there's nothing like seeing an artist live. She really spoke to me. And she has she has this song, gosh, words. She has this song called Made for This. And it's kind of become my pre-show anthem, and now I've just added it to my set list. And she says in the chorus, you know, she goes on about all the things that you have to do to live the life of the superstar fast lane life. And she says, you know, you've got to be made for this. And that's one of the things that my dad has always told me, is that I'm made for this. So I've been dabbling a lot into her music. But, you know, I think as an artist, when I listen to music, I'm not just listening to, oh, the lyrics are really good, or, oh, like the song sounds really good. I listen to everything, like every detail about a song. If you play a song for me, I can pick out every single instrument or sound that is in the song. So I'm also, while I'm listening to the lyrics, I'm listening to how fun the song might be. I'm listening to the production. I'm listening to, oh, maybe they used a fiddle in this part, or they used a harmonica in the beginning, or maybe that's like a really low bass note. Like, oh, like that's really cool. So in addition to like them being my musical influences, I'm also kind of making notes for myself of like, oh, I really like that. Let me send this to Brett, my producer, and be like, hey, like I want to do something like this for the next record, or hey, I want to do something like this for the EP. So while I love to, you know, listen to music, and I know for most people, music is kind of like their escape from reality, or like, you know, it kind of just helps take their mind off things. For me, like music is, it's literally my everything. I live, eat, sleep, and breathe music all the time. Like even when I'm listening to music, I'm still thinking in kind of the work mentality, I guess, of, oh, how could I use this song, or what is it that I love about this song so much that draws me to it, and how can I create that same feeling with my next song for my fans? Yeah.
Because like once it draws you to it, you're like, man, there's something special in here.
There's something in this song that I can't pinpoint. I gotta try to figure it out. But I'm gonna figure it out. That's for sure. But yeah, I still, but I love the bigger artists though. I love Morgan Wallen, Luke Combs. Me and my family, we've seen both Morgan Wallen and Luke Combs in the Shoe. Two of the best concerts I've ever been to. I'm a heavy concert goer. I've been to so many concerts. I've seen Harry Styles. At floor seats to see Ariana Grande. You know, I'm gonna go on and on about how many concerts I've been to, and you're just gonna be like, she's totally an only child. But yeah, so I've been to a lot of concerts, but I think that they all kind of help with my career as well, because I'm watching, you know, these artists perform on stage, and I'm like, what are they doing that I could do better, or that I could pull from them and use at my shows?
Because it doesn't matter if it's a male or female. You can get a little piece from here, a little piece from here.
You could pull inspo from any artist, and no matter what their gender is. There's even a few songs from Thomas Rhett that I've listened to, where I've sent to my producers, and I'm like, hey, like let's kind of pull inspiration from this song. Or one of my other favorite artists, Zach Bryan, I love his music, and I'll send add that to my playlist that I send my producer of, hey, here's a few ideas, or I like the way that this sounds, let's use that. So it's pulling artists from not only you know, different genders, but not just country music, pop music. I listen to all different types of music. I listen to, my dad plays a lot of old R&B, old rap, so we'll be driving in the Jeep, tops down, just blaring like Ice Cube,
Tupac, Too Short.
Yeah, lots of different older rap songs. And I'm riding in there with my sunglasses on, beer in my hand, and I just feel like a straight gangster. Like I'm like, this is it. But I listen to a lot of music from the 60s as well. 80s, Stevie Nicks. Oh my gosh, I love Stevie Nicks. I love Fleetwood Mac, Prince, MJ, of course. But I also listen to really heavy metal rock as well.
Also, you know everything.
I'm very versatile in every genre. My mom, the one time once I really started getting back into like the rock music, and I think it also helps with my acting as well, because the two upcoming characters are Emma in The Lifeguards that I just wrapped, and then my next movie, Speakeasy, Izzy is the character's name. They're both really emo, like heavy metal rocker girls. So I started getting back into like the emo screamo music to kind of get myself into character and help me kind of dissect my character. And I was playing it in the car with my mom one day, and I'm telling you, like, it was just the most loud scream into the mic song like you've ever heard. And my mom just gives me like the nastiest look. She's like, what the hell are we listening to right now? Turn that shit off. I was like, what? It's emo screamo. So she's not a big fan of emo screamo, but I'm trying to like get her to love it as much as I don't think it's gonna happen. She's not gonna like it. In addition to that, I'm also I try to connect with my roots and my culture as much as I can. So I listen to a lot of Hispanic music as well. Bad Bunny, Rosalia, Selena, of course. I dabble into a little bit of everything, and I think being so versatile in all different genres is also what helps contribute to my musical influences, because it's not just, oh, I have this list of country music artists that I love. No, it's I have this list of every artist who sings completely different genres that I'm pulling inspiration from, and I think that that's so important to have as an artist. Yeah,
and I know that it's true, because I actually looked at your YouTube page, and for 4 years you've covered all different genres, all different songs. You've actually made covers. You'd had like every week or something, every couple of weeks you would do a video.
Every week I was putting out covers. So I started in 2019, but with how busy my high school schedule was, I wasn't very consistent with it. But while COVID was a very tough time for a lot of people, I kind of found it as a blessing and a curse, because I got to spend time with my family. My dad, he hadn't had time off in years, and once COVID happened, we got to, me, my mom, and my dad, we all just got to spend time together as a family. And with me not being in school, I got to pump out new videos every week, and that's what really kind of took off my YouTube platform. But no, I was uploading covers of all different genres from all different artists, and just dipping my toe in every genre that I could. But country is, of course, what it is for me. And it's not just, I sing country music. Now it's kind of become a way of life for us.
That's like your thing. Because I've actually heard you sing a song in Spanish too. At a Mexican restaurant.
I sing everything. Not just country. I sing in Spanish as well. Working on the speaking part of it. My mom, she speaks fluent Spanish. We're working on it. She's one day at a time. But no, I'll sing some R&B in my set as well. A few older songs, older country songs, and a few Fleetwood Mac songs in my set as well. So
that's awesome. So like, what's next for Andi Taylor? Or like Andi Jo Taylor, I'm sorry.
No,
what's next for Andi Jo Taylor? Like modeling, where are you going next? What's the
I already dabble a little bit in modeling.
Oh, so you do?
I took, in addition to taking modeling classes, I did, or in addition to doing acting classes, I did modeling training as well. And so I work with Hip to the Groove in downtown Sylvania. I'm kind of the face of their brand. I model all their clothes for them, and I do all of their different events. We just did the fashion show for the Ability Center at the Pinnacle for the 3rd year in a row with them. Last week, I think, is when we did it. And I've done a few different like magazine covers and stuff, but runway won't be in Andi Jo Taylor's future due to my height.
Okay.
I got the short Mexican gene. I'm only 5 foot, so in runway, I mean, you have to be like 5'9" or taller. When we went to IMTA in Los Angeles, those girls were like 6 foot tall or like 6'2". Some girls are even tall. Like, it was insane. So not too much runway modeling, but you know, the fashion, the magazines, and you know, campaign modeling for sure is what I do. But no, what's coming up next in November is going to be pretty crazy. I'm performing the national anthem for the Walleye. I am performing the national anthem for the Ohio State men's hockey team, which is super exciting. We're a big Buckeye family. Huge Buckeye family, actually. All of our dogs, they each have their own Ohio State jersey. So some of my best memories come from having parties at our house for game day on Saturdays. And now it's like prime time, like every show that I have, like I'm probably wearing Ohio State stuff because I'm usually performing on Saturdays. But yeah, so I have that coming up. Trying to think of what else that I have.
Toys for Tots.
Toys for Tots, yes, that's what it was. Thank you. Toys for Tots with iHeartRadio. That'll be in December at the Franklin Park Mall. I can't give too many details yet. We're still working on all the logistics, but once I know all the details for that, I'll for sure post about it on my social media. So busy times coming up. Yeah,
and then tell me a little bit about like how important is your social media to get the word out for your music and for everything that you're doing right now?
Yeah, we live in a world where social media is so heavy on not just my generation, but all generations as well. Well, I think, you know, social media, it definitely has its negative side effects. It's also kind of a big blessing for up-and-coming artists like myself, or I saw that you had CNN Mikey on the podcast, like Mikey, or F1 as well. You had him as well. It's really beneficial for us in our careers. We can use that platform to you know, gain the followers. We can boost our posts to have people stumble across us. TikTok, there is no social platform bigger than TikTok right now.
Tell me a little bit about your bathroom series. TikTok.
I started a series. So I think every TikToker kind of has their niche or like their thing that they do. And I was like, oh, like what can I do that's gonna like set me apart from everybody else? And one of the things that I've found is that I write some of my best songs in my bathroom. Like it's really weird. I don't know if it's the acoustics or like what it is, but my creative mind just works so well in the bathroom. So it's like, oh, I'm going through like my list of songs that I have, and I was just gonna put out a cover or whatever. But then I was like, oh, like let me look at my originals. So I look and I was like, all of these I wrote in my bathroom. And it dawned on me, oh my gosh, songs I wrote in my bathroom. Like I could make this a series. I've never seen this before. So I just started up that series a few months ago, and people really seem to love it. I have a few more videos that I have scheduled coming out soon within that series. So yeah, I mean, I love doing it. People seem to really love my music, and I can't wait for everybody to hear the more music that I have coming, and the music that's going to be on my EP.
What's your TikTok name, Andi Jo?
Andi Jo Taylor. All my social media platforms are just Andi Jo Taylor.
Oh, okay. All of them
platforms. Yep.
Okay.
Just Andi Jo
And then
Taylor.
your Instagram, you got Instagram. You got your website.
Yeah, my website. That's what's cool about being blessed with a very unique name, Andi Jo Taylor, is that it can just all be one word, just Andi Jo Taylor on all platforms. Because nobody else, who else has a name like Andi Jo Taylor?
Yeah, that's good. That's really cool.
Yeah, my website, all my social medias at Andi Jo Taylor, www.andijotaylor.com. On my website, I also have the link to my merch. I have merchandise out. I have just the standard Andi Jo Taylor t-shirts, tank tops, and crew necks, but I also have the limited edition Kick on My Boots country back collection as well on my website. So you can check those out as well. I also have a few videos and some media of me performing on my website as well. Yeah.
And then, and then how about your movies? Like, so you're making movies now and you're doing all that. You told me a little bit about it earlier.
Yeah.
But actually, like, tell me a little bit about the whole process of making a movie. Like how is it? Like, I don't know. I've never, like, you go there, right? Do you have like your own trailer and all that? Or like, what is it like?
It's a very long process. The trailer for my short film, Un Día Normal, just came out. You can find that on my Facebook and on my Instagram. And that film, it's a bilingual film. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about what it's about, just because I feel like it's more important for people to see what it's about than rather to hear it. So that film, I think one of the things that people don't really realize is how long the casting process is in addition to how long the filming process is. So I auditioned for the film back in November, I think, of 2022, and we didn't start filming until the end of March of this past year, and we didn't get done filming until the middle of June. So we were filming for 3 months. It's while it's a lot of hard work that goes into it, you're also creating so many memories that you're going to take with you and so many friends. I mean, I made a bunch of friends on set with that film. The movie that I just wrapped, The Lifeguards, I made so many new friendships with that as well. But yeah, I think that people don't really realize how much does go into making a movie. You know, you have the really long casting process, and then in between the casting and the filming process, there's the table reads, there's the rehearsals, there's, you know, one-on-one Zoom meetings if you have, you know, like a love interest or a romance. There's the intimacy coordination that you have to go through. I mean, like, there's so many different steps that go into it. It's not just, oh, you get your script, you go, and then you film the movie. No. And then you have this really long script that you have to memorize and that you have to know, and then you're spending hours in the mirror, or I either practice in the mirror, I practice with my acting coach. You're practicing, oh, like, don't say this line this way. You have to say it this other way because that's how it's written in the script. Like, there's so many different things that go into it. But one of the things that I love about acting and making movies, and I find it so fascinating, is that I found that every time I'm filming, I kind of shut off Andi Jo Taylor. Like, that's like, I'm not Andi, I'm not Andi Jo Taylor, I'm not Andrea, which is my government name, but I really only hear that when I'm in trouble.
I didn't even know you're going.
Yeah, Andrea is my, but once I hear my dad call me Andrea or my mom call me Andrea,
you're like, oh shit,
I'm in some shit. I messed up big time.
I gotta go.
But no, I found that I kind of just shut all that off, and I'm Emma or Esmeralda or Izzy or Leah. You know, I can become somebody else, and I think that that's so interesting and cool and fascinating and something that really should be studied, because sometimes I get too into it where I'm like, the character that I played, Emma in The Lifeguards, she's kind of like has this takes no shit attitude, very tough girl mentality, and I found sometimes like they would call cut and I would still be Emma, like, and they would have to be like, whoa, like, okay, like, hold on, like, we're not filming, like, you're Andi right now, and I'm like, wait. But yeah, I think it's so cool. I love doing it. I think it's another cool creative outlet that I have, and that I'm really grateful that I dabbled into. So I just wrapped my first full-length feature, The Lifeguards, and then I have 3 more feature films that I have to film. So the one starts filming at the end of October, and then another in December, and then next year I start filming the other one. So I can't talk too much about the other 2, but I can talk about one of the other ones, Speakeasy. It's about this band that is living in a futuristic sci-fi world where music is not allowed. And the band is trying to rebel against the government and kind of break the rules that they have in place for no live music, no live performances, no music can be played at all. So it's a pretty good script, and I'm really looking forward to starting to film it. We just started rehearsals a little bit through Zoom, and you know, just doing that kind of character development. I'm creating playlists for the character. I'm writing down little notes and little things that I think that she might do or have, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to people seeing it. That's
awesome. So what if a little girl that was like maybe like 15, 16 that wanted to get into movies here in Toledo, what's the first step?
I would say Starbound really, really, really helped me in regards to training and meeting the right people. Wendy,
who was it?
Wendy Hendricks
with
Starbound Talent Association.
Oh, okay.
Wendy, if you're watching this, I love you. She's incredible, and the one thing about Wendy is that she does not sugarcoat anything. If she thinks that you can do this, she's going to tell you, okay, I think that you can do this. If she thinks you're not cut out for it, she's going to look at you and say, hey, sorry about your luck, this isn't the business for you. Okay. But I think if you're interested in pursuing this avenue, you kind of need that raw, honest, you know, yes or hard no answer. one of the things with being in this industry and in this world is that people aren't going to sugarcoat anything for you. People are going to give it to you head on. And another reason why my dad is so tough on me and so head on and giving me the cold hard truth is because, hey, maybe a record label is going to look at me and give me that cold hard truth just as hard, or if not harder, you know. But definitely Starbound Wendy is incredible with her training, with her acting classes that she has, as well as the modeling classes, and she put me in contact with the right people that have gotten me to audition now. So
that'd be a good start for someone from here, from Toledo.
Yeah, definitely. And to a lot of it is working hard and you know, not letting anybody tell you that you can't do this. If you work really hard for it and you're confident in yourself and you put in all the time, all the effort that you need to put into it, you know, you're going to see that outcome that you want to see.
All right, how about a little girl that maybe can't be a singer or can't be like an actress, but, you know, wants to do something else? What advice do you give to them?
I would tell them to work hard. Hard work, participate in everything that you can, and another big thing is to not care what people think about you or what people have to say about you. That's one of the toughest things that I think that I've had to learn throughout the years of going through this process. I used to find myself kind of getting caught up in comments and what people used to say about me, or how many likes would this post get, or how many views did this TikTok get. And I think that that's pretty common and in theme with all young girls is, you know, we kind of look for that, oh, how many people like me, or oh, this post didn't get enough likes, or whatever. You can't care about that. You have to just let all that go. And one of the things that I've stopped doing is I stopped looking at, you know, who views my stuff, who likes my stuff, who looked at my TikTok page, or how many comments did this one get, you know. I think that as tough as it is, you can really train your mind to not care what people have to say about you.
And how about working hard at anything? Like, do you believe in working hard at anything?
Yeah, I believe that you can work hard at anything that you do and you can be the best at it. If you work hard for it and you pray for it and you put in the time and the effort at anything that you do, inevitably you will be the best at it.
That's awesome. Okay, so another thing I always ask people, like towards the end of my interviews, I always ask people a few questions about certain things that are really important to me. And role models are really important to me. You know, so I wanted to ask you, like, who is the most important role models in your life?
That's the easiest question.
That's the easy question?
Yeah, because he's sitting right there.
Okay. That's
my dad, Tommy T, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Buckeye.
Okay.
Tommy T is my biggest role model.
That's awesome.
I would tell anybody to just spend 15 minutes with him. And in those 15 minutes, you are going to be laughing your ass off, or he's going to give you some really good advice that you could apply to anything that you do. He's my biggest role model. Some of the stories that he tells me, I look at him and I'm like, dude, like, there's no way that happened. And he's like, no, it can happen. He's lived a tough life, and he's gone through some shit, and he's very open and he's honest with that about when, like, talking to me. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He tells me, hey, like, this is the stuff that I went through as a kid, you know, and that reminds me how blessed I am to have both of my parents and to have a roof over my head, get a brand new car for my 16th birthday, or tell my parents, hey, like, I need X, Y, and Z for X, Y, and Z, you know. And he's my biggest fan and awesome. The biggest person that believes in me. So,
and how about, yeah, that's awesome. And how about your mom? How important is she to everything you do? My mom is, that lady, she is constantly on the grind. Like, she's helping me. Okay, funny story. So I used to be, like, such a late sleeper. Like, I used to sleep in all the time. Like, when I was in high school, like, on the weekends, I would sleep in. I wouldn't get up until like 11 o'clock. Right after I graduated, my mom would come in and banging on my door at 8 o'clock in the morning. Come on, you gotta get up, you gotta start your day. Mom, I don't have anything going on. Like, I can sleep in, this is fine. No, come on, you gotta get up. And I never understood why she was doing it until I started, you know, booking more of the gigs, booking the interviews, booking the movies, having early studio time, or having early morning shoots that I have to go to, where, okay, yeah, you might have gone to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, but guess what? Now your ass has to be up at 8 o'clock. So just that little
thing that she did for me, like, changed the whole like trajectory of my life, and now I'm like a go-to morning person. But in addition to doing that, like she's I wish I could have the right words to describe how much the both of them mean to me and how much my mom means to me. I wrote a song about it, and I think that for me, I'm kind of better at wording my feelings through song. And that song will be on my EP. So it's hard for me to find the right words on how much they really mean to me and how much they really do for me. But I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be who I am without them, and I love them both so much, to the moon and back, and I couldn't do this without them.
Yeah, that's absolutely, they're everything, because like you said, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here at all.
I wouldn't be here.
Not even existed.
Not even, like literally, like I literally wouldn't be here.
Yeah, you wouldn't be in the music scene, but not only that, but you wouldn't be here, period. At all. All right, so another thing, to me, like lately, since I've been on my fitness journey, fitness and health is really important to me. Can you tell me a little bit about your health and fitness and how important it is to you?
Yeah, I think to do what I do, you have to be healthy, you have to be active, you have to stay fit. I mean, I can't jump around on stage and sing at the same time and not have the stamina to do that. So some of the things that I do for my personal health and fitness, I do a lot of cardio. I run 2 to 3 miles every day. Me and my mom, we just ran our first 5K. The neighborhood 5K was at McQueen's a few weeks ago. I fast, and fasting helps control my mind. And it also helps me, you know, if I have that strict eating time. So say I'm on set for 12 hours a day, okay? I can't, my brain isn't going to think, oh, but I'm so hungry when I'm so hungry. Like, no, like I've trained my mind, okay, like this is the time that you eat, you're good. So that way, the first 9 hours of the day, I'm not thinking about food or like eating. I'm focused and I'm tackling what I need to tackle. I also do a lot of core workouts. And I work out my legs a lot as well. So like squats, donkey kicks, glute bridges, all that. I'm doing all those for that stamina on stage. Everything that I do workout wise, it's for what I need to be on stage. And that's another thing that I feel like I've sacrificed as well, is kind of the junk food. I am such a sucker for a Big Mac with large fry and a large root beer. Like that's like, for a long time, that was my go-to after every show. I would go to McDonald's, I would get a Big Mac and a large root beer. Like, it was so bad that I started to like feel the effects on my physical health when performing. And I was like, okay, we kind of have to back burner. This is not going well. But you know, I still allow myself to have a treat every now and then. Especially now too with the UAW strike. Blessing and a curse. I love having my dad home, but I also feel for, you know, I know that while we're blessed and our family is good, I know that there's so many other families that aren't, you know, as blessed as we are. So, but I've been kind of more lenient with my diet, with my dad being home, because we never really get to sit and have dinner together as a family. So some of my best memories come from my dad driving me to school in the morning, and we would get McDonald's breakfast. So yesterday I came home from an appointment that I had, and I brought home McDonald's breakfast for my dad.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so I'm very also strict with my diet as well. Throughout the week, I'm constantly eating clean. I'm eating salads or like grilled chicken, yogurt, avocado toast, like things that I know are good for my body. And I think that all just really plays a big part into not only the performing, but all aspects of my life, you know? Even if I wasn't doing this, I think I would still be pretty meticulous about my health, just because I know how good I feel about myself when I am strict on my diet and I am going crazy on the working out, I am going crazy on the fasting. I know, wow, I feel really good. And I'm sure you can attest to this too. Fresh after a workout, you feel unstoppable. Like you can take on the day. And I feel kind of, I feel the difference when I'm not going as hard as I know I should be. So
do you do any kind of hot or cold therapy, like saunas or cold plunges?
I do cold plunging as well. So we have a koi pond in our backyard, and during the colder months, I'll dunk myself in the cold water for like 5. I think my longest time was 7 minutes.
Oh my god!
When we last counted was 7 minutes. and that water is no joke too.
Yeah.
But it's good for me, you know, especially after shows. One of the things that I like to do is I like to take a really cold bath as well, or a really cold shower, and it helps relaxes my muscles. One of the things that's also really good for too that I found, and I just looked into this, I let the cold water kind of run on my throat, and the cold water kind of helps soothe my throat as well. It would be equivalent to kind of drinking ice water, but one of the things for vocal health that you can't do is drink anything super hot or super cold, because that kind of tenses up your vocal cords and strains them, and then you're going to be stuck with your voice running out after 3 or 4 songs. So putting that cold water on my throat, like, it helps soothe in the same way that really cold water or really hot tea would. But yeah, cold plunging, it's seriously really like made an impact on my life and changed my life for the better, positive ways. I feel so much better after shows and feel so much more relaxed and so much more, how do I want to word this? Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's really beneficial, and a lot of other artists do it as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of benefits from it, because I listen to a lot of health podcasts. So what it does is it actually gets rid of inflammation in your body. So when you let that cold water, it probably gets rid of inflammation, like in your throat. So like it gets rid of inflammation in your body. It actually helps you because it builds a callus through your body. So like when you have a rainy day, you know how some people say, don't get your head wet because you're going to get sick. But if you get into cold water all the time, you don't have to worry about getting sick from a little rain. Because you've built a callus in your body to withstand that. Same thing with sauna. If you go in a sauna, you don't have to worry about really hot days because your body gets used to it. And then there's a lot of benefits for heat therapy and cold therapy. There's a lot of different benefits.
One of the things that I want to really get into, and I think this is like, once I find time for it, my next thing that I want to do is hot yoga. I hear people rave about hot yoga all the time, and me and my mom, we do the Apple Fitness yoga workouts together, just to get that morning stretch. We do it first thing in the morning. We do yoga together, and we've been so interested in trying hot yoga. We just did our first cycling class, my mom and I did a few weeks ago, and they had it like super hot in the room, and I was like, oh, like I wonder why they do this. But man,
that's why
they do it for a good reason.
Go to Hot Works. They got a place. Well, they got a hot yoga on Monroe Street, but they also got a Hot Works. You can go with Sandra one day. She can take you.
You go to Hot Works?
Yeah.
We're making a date. We're gonna go together.
Yeah, and then you can it's not like but they have like different things you can do on the thing. You can do like a yoga, this, that. I don't know the exact things, but if you follow the instructors, and it's inside of a sauna.
I think that's where my high school cheer coach, that's where she goes.
Yeah,
she was telling me to go
it's really cool. Okay, so I love all that stuff that you're doing. Like, there's so many benefits to everything you're doing. Fasting is awesome. It clears up your gut, which clears up your mind. And then it helps you with thinking. It actually helps you with, even like if you have a bad eating day, it doesn't matter, because you can eat a pizza as long as you give your body the time to digest it. And you're fasting, it digests that pizza, and it's basically like you ate nothing. You
can eat anything that you want with fasting, and so my dad started fasting, and that's how I got into it. And but it was a little different for my dad because he works night shift, so he would just eat when he got off of work, and I'd be like, oh, like I thought that you were like dieting, like why are you eating like all this junk? And he's like, no, I'm fasting, and I was like, you can eat anything? So that's one of the things that I really love about it too, is I can eat that Big Mac and the root beer when I'm fasting, because it's not going to affect me.
Of course. It's different when you work thirds. You got to try to find your window.
Find that eating time.
Yeah, because you got to, the hardest part about fasting is finding your eating window with work and real life. Like, where you're going to eat. You want to get at least put it in a good like 10-hour, 8-hour window. And then eat. You can eat, drink, whatever you want in that window. As long as you give your body time. Like, man, I lost pounds and pounds and pounds just melting off because I gave my body room to digest. So I believe in everything you're doing. I think it's a great things. Okay, so my last question that I always ask all my guests is, what are your biggest goals and dreams for Andi Jo Taylor?
So I used to say this was one of my biggest dreams, but now I'm saying it's one of my biggest goals that I have. So remember I told you I was a really big Justin Bieber fan? I went to see his documentary, Never Say Never, when I was like 6 or 7. And the whole point of the film, or the whole plot of it, was they were just about to close down Madison Square Garden. And Justin Bieber came in and he said, no, I bet you if I can sell it out, like, you guys are going to, like, keep it open. And I'm like, all right. And he sold out Madison Square Garden. And I remember afterwards, you know, stood up and I looked at my mom and I said, Mom, I'm going to sell out Madison Square Garden one day. And she, you know, I'm a little kid, so she's like, yeah, sure you are. Just like, past my head. But the more that I think about it, the more I'm like, okay, like, this is a goal that I have. Like, I'm going to sell out the garden one day. Another big goals that I have for myself, ACMA awards, CMA awards as well. K100, they're having a watch party for the CMA awards in November at the Stranahan Theater. So I think we're going to head to that as well. And, you know, it'll be cool to watch it with K100 at Stranahan Theater, but I know it's going to be really cool one day when we're all there in person because I'm nominated for an award. Yeah. It's a goal that I have for myself and a goal that I know that I can achieve. Yeah, and I believe that you're going to hit all your goals. And I don't even see them as goals. I told your dad, I talked to him on the phone, and I told him that I don't even see you as up and coming or nothing. I see you as you're here. You're here to stay. Like, you need to start coming up with, like, everything, like, cause man, like, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job, so and I appreciate you so much for coming on Big Yogi's Garage and chopping it up with you. Thank you so much for having me. Hopefully I'll be back again soon. Yeah, and then I mean, there's no ands, ifs, or buts. You're gonna make it big, right? When you make it big, don't forget about Big Yogi's Garage. I could never forget about Big Yogi's Garage. Hello, you're gonna be working the red carpet at one of the events that I'm performing at. Yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Big Yogi's Garage. Make sure you follow Andi Jo Taylor on all her social media platforms. We really appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week on Big Yogi's Garage. Let's go!